Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition live broadcasted outside of Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello there, Angela. How are you doing?
Doing good, and I shipped off those paintings to you, and I sent you the tracking number and everything.
Yes, thank you. Welcome, Jackie. Welcome, a little Twisted. How do you feel, Twisted? And everybody that's coming in on this Monday evening, welcome. So as we are talking, everybody, Curtis and your rubber chickens, quack quack, or that's anyways. As we're talking, make sure and put your names up on the board, and I will put you in order, ladies and gentlemen. So so what have you been up to?
Oh, it's been busy. I've been doing a lot of different things, getting ready for the next show, and making sure I'm organized for that, and I'm also have to do my continuing education credit to keep my insurance license and doing that. And what else am I doing? Well, just making sure it's up. I've been very busy. It's been a crazy week. I've also had some paranormal activity and some spirit interaction this week. That's just been crazy. I got some EVPs they picked up and some auditory like whispers I could hear in my ear that the EVP recorder could actually pick up. And a male voice. It's consistently the same male voice, and very very interesting. And quite a bit of information through dreams too. And it's kind of leaking. It was linking to what I was hearing over the spirit box and hearing over EVPs and things of that nature. And it was all coming together. And it was fascinating to experience that because they had this one recurring dream where I was always at a farm, and it's like the 1950s, and I'm driving a Ford pickup truck, and I don't want to be at this farmhouse, and there's a farmhouse at the end of this dead end road, and anybody that goes visits this farmhouse that they're lost, they never are seen again. And I was a man in this dream, and I was going down this road, and I knew that this farmer had something to do with these disappearances, and I said, as long as I don't get out of the vehicle, I'm safe, and I'll just turn around since I'm by myself and head back. And then the spirits boxes start talking through about this farmer, and the farmer was disappearing people, that he had a deep freezer, and people that had grown up, were in the area that were aware of this, and instead of reporting to the police, they just kind of took care of it themselves. Because one of the families that were disappeared was a family with a little boy, and they talked, and they were talking about what he was doing to them. So, and he was hiding vehicles, and people who were missing vehicles, they would be hiding those vehicles in the barn, and they went and they hung them. Like the neighborhood, the area. And this was like a desolate area. This is like desolate farmland or there's not, their neighbors are many miles apart. And this was back in the 1950s. And there was some connection there. So it was interesting because they kept showing me the image of the farm on different ghost tube, and then it would dream of it. Then I get more information, and I would remember more details what I was being seen each time I was dreaming it. I could tell you that it was a Ford pickup truck about 1950, and that there was a little boy, and there was another psychic friend of mine that was getting very similar images and similar stories, even though we live in different states. It was very interesting.
EVPs,
electronic voice
phenomenon.
Yeah, the voice. So I think it depends on the frequency. And before there was EVPs, you would have disembodied voices recorded on magnetic tape. And the magnetic tape, which the voices you couldn't hear. If you were picking them up on a magnetic tape, that magnetic tape was tuned in for a certain frequency range, right? And then the electronic recorders pick up a different frequency range. And it depends on where that voice falls in the frequency. And it's usually very low and it's not in our hearing, so we don't hear the voices. But when you play back the recording, you hear the voices. You hear what was being said. You hear direct intelligence responses. I had one that was really, I had a few that was actually quite strong in my own house. There's this man's voice that keeps coming through. He's very, I would say, very religious focused, I would think. I had an EVP recorder going just as I was just doing my normal routine just to see if I get anything picked up because I was home by myself. And you hear this man's voice loud and clear. And remember, I'm home alone. It says Catholic moon. And then right after he says Catholic moon, on GhostTube, this images of the Virgin Mary Mother came up. And of course, in Catholic beliefs, image, and imagery, Mary is like the moon, where Jesus is like the sun, because she is a reflection of holiness. And she is the mother, and of course he's both her creator and her child. And so she's like the moon, and of course there's the imagery of the woman with the moon, clothed with stars, and then she has the moon at her feet, and so Mary is associated with the moon. Very interesting. And then how Mary appeared in the image was that she appeared all in white, as if she was like a moon, like the light of the moon. And there was another voice that came through that said, "Come." And just when he said "come," and it was a really deep, strong voice, it was kind of sounded drawn out a little bit because his voice was so deep. It was like, "Come." And right before he said that, this other image came up on the GhostTube. And what GhostTube does, GhostTube Seer, it uses environmental information to create images. So spirits can input images into an AI system and it would generate images. So whatever the spirit is telling the AI generator to create, it will create.
Okay.
And there was one I caught recently. Yeah, it's fascinating. And there have been places that come up that I recognize that they're showing me, like where I went to college, a house from a prior life that I recognized, even an image of myself when I. Mm-hmm.
Can you, in your professional opinion, communicate
Mm-hmm.
with the dead using EVP, whether it's the old-fashioned magnetic tapes or a digital voice recorder?
I think you can. And there's been documented cases of people getting phone calls, right? Getting phone calls from loved ones who have passed away. And that's been validated, right?
Shelby's
this is before we had more advanced.
He called from his cell phone that was dead. It was still on, but it was dead in his wife's drawer. Thank you, Lori. Thank you. Love you to death. Now, let me ask you this. For an average person, Lori, Standing Stones, Chalet, Little Twisted, Kathy, Kim Davis, everybody that's watching Standing Stones, if they have a loved one that has passed, do you, in your professional opinion, recommend them to use a digital voice recorder to try to communicate with their loved ones?
As far as that goes, I would say that you first lay down some ground rules. Yes, you could use a digital recorder, but I would lay down some ground rules because and understand that the things that you're picking up there may be things just passing through. And if you and so you have to lay down the ground rules. Like, I only want to hear from this person, or I only want to hear from something benevolent that is sent from heaven and is from the light and has the highest and best good and has love as their highest intention to start that communication with. You just don't want to send up communication without setting some sort of boundaries or rules. And the reason is because people that have done so carelessly, and maybe the classic case may be the Ouija board, where people open themselves up without any rules or boundaries, and they end up inviting something that they didn't want to invite, and ends up they have to be very forceful about uninviting them. So certainly you can invite communication, but make sure you lay down the ground rules of who you want to communicate with and who you want to hear from, and make sure that's protected, and say a prayer. And I even have holy water in here with me, and I know I'm protected. So make sure that you set up that protection first, because you don't want to invite or inadvertently start communicating with something that's negative. So yes, you could do that. I've done that, and I've set out my recorder. I've even had through the Parabox, which is another app that I used before, had my uncle come through, and my uncle's been deceased for a couple of years, for at least a couple of years, and I recognized him, and he came through, and I recognized that he just has this wonderful, loving presence that you could just feel. You just know that it's him. And he said, "I am your uncle." He came right through. So yes, you use these devices. You can use this forms of communication, but as with everything else, understand that there may be some things might want to try to come through that may not be looking out for your good. And so you just have to be cautious and be reasonable about the use of them.
This is a good app that a lot of people use. You can download it on your
Yes.
phone. I recommend it.
Mm-hmm. Necronancer, yeah. And there's one that's very inexpensive. There's an app that I use. It's called VMS.
Gentlemen. And you can actually ask questions and actually get responses back. It's just like what do you call it? A pair box? A spirit box?
Yeah, it's very much like a pair box or a spirit box. Yeah.
Thank you, honey.
So yes, I say you can do that. Just like I said, just make sure that you are very conscientious of who you want to communicate with. And for me, as an investigator, I will sometimes go to just leave the recorder on and just invite open invitation. But then I have the experience, because if something negative does come through, I have that experience, that background to deal with it and take care of that issue. I've had some interesting negative ones come through, but then I understand that that's just part of the experience, and I deal with that. I've had experience that people would have frightening experiences with that, and I wasn't even trying to seek communication. Now, was for instance, coming home, over just over my my car stereo speakers, right? Nothing on. Car stereo comes on, and had a demonic voice come through, and it was harassing me. And it would do it whenever I was tired. It was mocking me. Eventually, I came up with something that it couldn't respond to. It didn't have any answer to. And I said, "I'm glad you're attacking me, because you know what? That means I'm hurting you. And it also increases my faith in Christ and Jesus, because if you exist, I know Jesus and God exist. And I know that you're not able to hurt me, because they exist and their love is around me always. And you're only increasing my faith the more that you attack." And then this weird discordant music came on, like it couldn't figure out.
Where'd Angela go? She got zapped. But yes, Kim Davis is right. And I use pendulums. I do use dowsing rods. You're welcome, Brian. It's a good app. A lot of us use that in the paranormal world. But I tell a lot of people, like Lori. Lori has a lot of family members.
Sorry about that. It's just like the connection is dropping here, but
over.
Yeah,
And that would be
I've had that
spot.
happen. I had that happen to me, and just with a pair of noise canceling headphones. Wasn't communicating
Right.
anything, just had the noise canceling feature on. And then I had demonic laughter coming over through my headphones.
But I was
And
telling the audience, Lori Gibbs has got a lot of family members that passed,
I
and they
can't hear
hang
you.
around her house. You can't hear me? Hello? Well, we
Okay,
talked
I
about
can't hear you. I have to get out and get back in. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. But like I'm saying, you can use those tools to see who's around you and communicate with. However, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you do say your prayer to the light and only invite the good in. That's very cautious that you do that because, like Angela says, you can get travelers traveling through, and that can happen. But that phone that I showed you all with that app on Nephophonics, that's a very good app. A lot of people, even on TV, uses that app. Now, can you hear me? Testing, testing.
Oh, I still can't hear you.
That's strange.
I'm going to try a different laptop here. Just a moment.
Okay. All right. Let's see if we can get Angela fixed here. Jackie says her son-in-law answered the phone and asked for a fill. The phone was handed to Mill and it crackled and couldn't make out anything said. There has been a lot of times that people that passed away have called back, and we're not talking a year later where the phone number has been recycled. We're talking 2 or 3 days after, before the phone has been actually turned off and the number has been recycled to a new user, whether it's been a home phone number or a cell phone number. We're talking a short time frame, and that really makes a difference. I don't know, Brian. Maybe she did mute the speaker. It's weird because sometimes when we talk about paranormal activity, somehow electronics has interference. Just like if I'm in my home studio with the dolls, look at all the activity I have with the dolls. So Standing Stone says somehow I video called this girl I knew in high school, and we're pals on YouTube. I mean, it happens. I think, was it you, Brian, that somebody called you from the hospital that needed help, and you called back and got them help in the hospital? I mean, you just never know. But EVP's electronic voice phenomenon is something that cannot be discounted. We use it in all kinds of research when it comes to the afterlife, and it cannot be discounted. And yeah, some of the EVPs we captured are hard to listen to or understand what is being said. But yeah, Brian says it was him. But you have to understand how much energy it has to take to make that frequency to be heard on that device and to answer people's questions that are intelligence, whether it's a family member telling you about a memory or a location or a happy time. Angela's back now. Angela, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I apologize.
Okay.
I'm going to have to, sorry for the background. I'm going to turn it
No,
off.
don't worry about it. You're fine. But it
Turn
is
my
anytime
light on.
you can reach out, but like Angela's saying, you got to be careful because you really don't know. And I'm not saying every time that you use EVP, you're going to get something demonic or evil. There is a possibility because demonic or evil, demons, however you want to describe it, can mimic a loved one or a family member. So you do have to be careful about that, just like in biblical reference. It is written in scripture over and over about that, how they mimic. That's why a lot of people that have hauntings or demonic presence, they're represented as children because as humans, we let our guards down, just like the black-eyed children, right? We let our guards down. So you got to think about that. And a lot of people, I'm not trying to discount or discredit anybody, but Angela's got a lot of experience in this. And you just can't go grab a flashlight in your cell phone or a recording device and be a paranormal investigator. It's not how it works, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
So, and I'm not saying not to go out and experiment or learn, but you have to have a lot of self-protection. You got to learn prayers and how to pray. You got to learn how to cleanse, whether it's sage, holy water. What's that stuff that you put on your forehead? That oil, anointing oil.
Right.
Yes, and I mean now the anointing oil that I have, I get it from Rome, from the Serpine Church, from Jerusalem. Yes, and I mean there's different types of anointing oil. You got to know what you're doing, because it's not what you crack up to be on TV. Ladies and gentlemen, you can bring this stuff home. It can cause problems in marriages. It can cause health problems. It can cause you have nightmares. It can cause problems at work. I mean, it can affect a lot of things, and people don't understand that.
It can affect your friends and other family members. Like you're not even in the same state. Go talk to somebody, a family in a different state from you, and show up at their house. It's and for me, the reason I was getting attacked, of course, I didn't get attacked so much. They don't like what I do. They don't like me helping people, and so the demons make that perfectly clear. That's why they're attacking me, because I'm a high-profile target, because I help people.
Angela, we interviewed the chief exorcist of America. That he actually is in charge of all the exorcists in America. And we had him on our show, and he talked about how they proceed when anytime somebody has to be exorcised. And he talked about how he was personally attacked just by watching a videotape that was 8 months old by a demon, that the demon waited for him and knew his name. And he protested to people that people think this stuff's not real, and it is. And when and even Mary talks about what demons smell like in death and what these things cause to human bodies, it's not a game.
They do have an odor, and there is an odor, and they do have appearance, they do have a presence, and there is a pattern as well. And there's different types, and there's different levels of and I painted portraits of some of the ones that have attacked me before, and they've all lost. And I had one, he physically attacked me, punched me in the ribs, punched me from under the bed, picked up my bed and dropped it. And I said, Hail Mary, and I actually felt her come in and send this thing out. And I learned to face them. I learned to not back down, because you can't show weakness, or you can't show fear. And you have to be very strong in your faith and very confident in your faith. And you have to be 100% in the light. So that, their attacks, I've had angels intervene on my behalf. I had one demon that followed me home. I knew it followed me home. It was talking through my radio, it would talk through my phone. It was like constant, like a lot of harassment. I felt it here, and there were I had 7 archangels rush into my house and take the thing out. There were like 7 spears of white light that came into my home, and then it took it out. These 7 beings, and they made themselves known in the dream, these 7 angels, and they're still with me. They do call themselves the 7. So this is real. Yes, this is real, but it's not necessarily common.
There's a lot of paranormal investigators, Angela. If it's demonic, they will have nothing to do with it. And then they'll tell you, my faith's not strong enough and it's higher than my pay grade. They won't have nothing to do with it.
Right.
They refuse to. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's not. When I interviewed the chief exorcist, I have to find his name. I don't remember his name. Do you right offhand? Yeah. And she's going to look it up because it's on her channel. And you can go out there and research him. He is high, and he's older, and he tried to retire, but they wouldn't let him. And I'm telling you, and when we talked to him off camera, it was crazy. And he was like, the movies you see has nothing what happens in real life. He was like, that is not even 100th. Ron Fail is his name. Look him up, ladies and gentlemen. Ron Fail. Yeah, she's going to post a link in the chat. Mary's going to. And he's very open about what he does. And he'll speak to you. It may take him a little while to get back to you, but he will. But you know, we see these things on TV, and you know, when I confide to people about talking to the people that's crossed over, I give them caution, you know, one-on-one, because like Angela says, you don't know who you're going to connect with. It's not a guarantee. And there you go. Mary just posted it right there. There's the link if y'all want to click on it. I think that's the interview, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's the interview. Okay. But I mean, check it out, ladies and gentlemen. And but it's not for the faint-hearted. It's just use caution. Use common sense. Use common sense, right? If it don't feel right, that's your psychic abilities. That's your spidey sense.
Right.
So just be careful.
I'm going to go get my runes real quick, because when I was switching laptops, I had to change rooms. So let me go grab them. And you said
do y'all have any questions before she go gets her runes? I got some people lined up for Angela. You have any questions or comments about EVPs or communicating with people that's crossed over? I'll be more than happy to answer those before we get started. I don't mind. Any questions or comments? Yeah,
I've had, I've made it. I do have some really good friends too in the spirit world too that I talk to regularly, and are friends of mine who knew me in a past life or even knew me in this life and have since passed on. I enjoy that experience. I know I feel their support. And of course, when you're talking to a relative, there's a way to test whether it's really a relative or somebody mimicking them, because somebody that's mimicking them will not be able to get all their questions right about the relative. There's experience that only you can share, and they will not usually get everything right. They will get something off.
So Brian's asking, if you record an EVP, does energy follow you or through the recorder? Yes, Brian, it can. It can be attached to you or follow you. And that's one thing. What happened to Ron was it? Yeah, I think she said his name was Ron Fayu. But that's what happened to him when he watched the recording of the person that the church, because he goes over the interview process because somebody just wants to be exercised. They say, they have to make sure there's no no drug abuse, no alcohol abuse. They go through one hell of an interview process, through the Catholic Church before the priest even gets there. And they do. I think somebody actually made a series or a horror movie show some of the processes that they go. That was actually legit. And they record the symptoms. And the demon knew ahead of time that Ron was going to get this recording, and he waited till Ron played that video, and the demon attacked him through the TV when he played it. And he talks about it on the interview that we interviewed him, and it just floored me. And when he talked off air, it scared the hell out of me. I ain't gonna lie. So yes, it can. So okay, let's get Amarillo's. Is Amy? Okay, Lori, I got you in line too.
You were going to say something. You were going to announce something. Remember? From last week? Next week's show?
Mary? She wants us to make an announcement.
We ate macaroni and cheese.
No, about what you heard, what you thought you heard me say, and then what I actually said.
Damn, you almost made me do another announcement. Damn, girl, you almost made me trick me in this. What's wrong with you? Damn, almost got her. Damn, girl. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, damn, she almost got me, didn't she? Yeah, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I do stand corrected. This is a correctional announcement. I made an announcement last week, but Angela did not say, "Oh no." She said, "Oh wow." On that 70-year-old getting married. So I do stand corrected about him. Yeah, right, Lori. He was getting married, and she did not say, "Oh no." And so I went and ran with that, and I had Angela convinced that she actually said, "Oh no." And because Angela was like, "What the hell? Did I really say that?" But at the end, Angela's like, "I didn't say that." She said, "I said, oh no. Oh wow." So look, I got myself confused. So I went and I called Angela the next day, and I personally apologized to Angela, didn't I? I did. Because Mary was like, Grizzly, Angela didn't say this. What the hell she did? I was like, I said, what's wrong with her? I was like, Angela, you're supposed to say congratulations, not oh no. So yeah, I know that was so funny, wasn't it? I know
It was.
because it shocked me. I was like, what the hell, Angela? So the embarrassment was on me. Angela did not say that. So Angela almost got me to say something else. But yeah, I was like, damn, Angela, what are you rushing me for? You know, I was like, what the hell? But no, yeah, that was good, Angela. So yes, Brian, it was funny. So yeah, Natalie, I felt bad because Mary was like, Grizzly, she didn't say that. I was like, the hell she did, Mary? I said, I couldn't believe it. So Mary went back and set me down, and she made me watch the damn video. And I felt this big. I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, damn, she didn't say that. And I was just like floored. I was like, damn, Angela, what's wrong with you? Because I wrote her hard. Because I was like, man, you're supposed to say congratulations. But anyways, yes, Natalie, I did. I felt bad. Hey, Jeff, welcome to the show from Ohio. Nice to have you. Yeah, I was. I was pretty embarrassed. I felt bad. But you know what? Angela was a good camper. She took it and she didn't get mad because I died and I could not do the show. I was laughing that damn hard. And then when she told me that she was 39, I really lost it. I was like, what the hell? I'm like, what? Then I start screaming, laughing. I'm like, are you punking me? Because then I told Angela and everybody's like, damn, we got to do a Jerry Springer show. You know, I'm like, damn. But anyways, so when's the wedding date? I don't remember when the wedding date. I was laughing so hard, everything was a blur. You know, I just couldn't believe it. I was so shocked, and I was just like, you know what? I mean, if you're in love, you're in love. And then she said it was a mail order bride, and that really put the icing on the cake. But what can you say, man? If he's in love, he's in love. So yeah. Yeah, Lori says, I'll send prayers. Stop it, Lori. I don't need to laugh. But that was funny. I mean, because that caught me off guard. I mean, there ain't nothing wrong getting married if you're 70 or 80. You know, I mean, that one couple got married when they were 102. Remember that older couple like 5 years ago? Old high school sweethearts. Their husband and wife passed away, and they found each other and got married. What the hell? There ain't nothing wrong with that. But anyways, I'm sorry, Angela.
That's all right.
Here, I'll do it this way. I'm sorry, Angela. I felt really bad. I put myself big on the screen.
I appreciate you apologizing to her. But we also have another announcement. We are going to be sharing a booth.
Oh, yeah. Damn, too many announcements in one night. I know. Angela and I and Mary are going to be sharing a booth and a psychic fair. We're going to do the aura photography in our merchandise while Angela does her poetry. Roses are red, violets are blue.
Got chicken on your mind. It's not poultry, it's portraits.
I know, but I can't get too many surprises. Too many announcements.
Are you paying chickens again?
Yeah, are you paying? Curtis, where's Curtis? Is Curtis in here? And no, I got your message, hon. They got me. Well, we got several other announcements. We ain't even broadcasted yet, so I'm confused. Because I thought you were talking about something else. And then she's talking about we ate macaroni and cheese. I was like, Well, then the vending event, and there's other announcements we don't even talk about yet. So y'all got to stay tuned. I don't know what show we're going to drop the ball on those. I know, man. People are going to be like, Grizzly, what the hell? I know, right? Everybody in the audience is like, what the hell are you talking about?
Ghost chickens, poultry guys.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, Curtis is like, yeah, I got those rubber chickens. You damn son of a gun, you. I'm going to choke the living hell out of you. Do that again at Saltford. I got to tell that story on the next show on Angela. Stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. It drove me nuts. All night, I don't think I heard was a damn rubber chicken. Cocking, whatever you call it. Angela's laughing. A little twisted. I hear wedding bells. Well, I did too that night. 70-year-old and 39-year-old. What the hell? Going to the chapel. Gonna get married. Oh, no. Mary's over here laughing like, what the hell, Grizzly? All right. Nelda's like, just shut up and get on with my damn reading. Nelda's like, there you go, Grizzly. That's what I'm talking about. Mary's
All right.
like, over here. All right. Jeff's like, you got any goats? What the? Jeff, we need to talk. I don't want to know about with them damn goats. Curtis is laughing. His little twist is like, goats. I'm sorry. That's a sheep. A goat's like, ah! Anyways, first up, it is Dilda. It is Dilda. What the heck?
All right, Nelda.
Nelda.
See what the runes have to say for you.
Nelda's like, damn, Grizzly, what's wrong with you?
All right, Nelda. So let me go ahead and start with the runes. So the first rune I got for you, this is a different laptop. It's gonna take some getting used to. So this is the Gabo rune. So Gabo means trust or faith, and it feels like your trust is really being tested. It's like your ability to trust is being tested. But I get the assumption that this is a good lesson for you and that you're really trying to master trust. The next rune I got for you is Urus. Not Urus, I apologize. I don't see it here. This is actually Manas. This is the Bifrost Bridge. And it's usually wisdom, intellect, and the connection from the spirit world to the physical world. That I'm getting off of this. What I'm getting is that you've got a very good spiritual connection that you can trust it. You can trust it. You can trust that connection. And the last rune I have for you, Nilda, is Isa. So Isa, oh, this is not Isa. I apologize. This is hard to see in the dark as I turn the lights down, but this is Langu. So this is the rune of growth, of progress. So what I'm getting on here is a tremendous increase in faith. It's like a tremendous increase what you're going through. So the trust that you're learning to trust, and you've learned to master that lesson, then you're learning also the wisdom and also connecting with the wisdom on the other side and bringing that that healing on here, this Landus, which means flow, trust. But I feel an increase, specifically referencing an increase in your faith and in the spirit realm and becoming more healed as a result with that strong connection.
Now, can I ask you a question, Angela?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know Nilda?
No, I don't.
Have I ever talked to you about Nilda?
No.
There you go, Nilda. She said great things. I know Nilda. That's why I didn't do a reading. So that was pretty good. All right, next up, Natalie. Come on down, Natalie. She said, hello. Maybe you can tell me about a tunnel or a portal and a young lady spirit in one of the rooms of my house. Thank you. You know what? Before you draw a rune, it seems like it's a past family member.
Is that the case with that?
No, Natalie Rush.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you hear Mary laugh?
No, not
Yes.
the other Natalie.
Oh, she thought it was another Natalie. I'm like, what the hell she laughing at me for? I was just
messaging her this almost the same thing.
Oh, she was doing a reading on another Natalie. That's why she's laughing. I was like,
saying the same, and I was like, holy crap.
oh, I was like,
I'm sorry.
why somebody laughing at me for that? That hurt my feelings.
No.
I'm like, damn, everything went away. I mean, I was seeing. Let me go back. Natalie, was she wearing like a gown? Natalie, is she even in here? Yeah, I lost all my train of thought now.
It's like because the first thing I see was a very tall, slender woman in a white gown of some kind, a white dress. Very tall, but she's from another time period. I'm looking at her dress and trying to figure out what time period she's from.
Well, she started laughing, and everything got sucked. It was like right out backwards, and it just like then she was laughing at me.
Okay, the woman that I'm connected with, the spirit lady, she keeps pulling me back to the 1930s. Is what I'm getting.
Yes, white long dress. Is that a family member of hers, Angela?
It doesn't. It feels like she's saying sister, but I'm asking if she's a sister like from a past life.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, because it feels like they were sisters in a past life. I see one was blonde and one had red hair, and they were sisters. So, yeah, this is a sister from a past life. Let me see what the runes say about her. The first rune I get is Kenya's, but this is wisdom. One of the first impressions I get from your sister is like she's a spirit guide. So she chose to be a spirit guide for you. So she chose to not be reincarnated with you, but rather chose to be in spirit to kind of help you and kind of be a coach through your life. That's what I'm shown here. When you see this rune Kenya's, it means guidance, it means light, and this is wisdom, and this is a torch that you make when you're lost in the woods. So she's there to still support you. I feel like her personality comes across as a little bit fun, and she giggles a little bit, and it's kind of a freeing feeling, like she's carefree type of personality, and she's really, really kind of fun to be around. The next rune I have is Tiwas. So Tiwas is the rune of victory. It's also justice, law, oath. The impression I'm getting off of this is she's here to fulfill a promise that she made to you. Okay, she made a promise to you back in the 30s that she would take care of you and that she'd always be there for you. And so she's fulfilling that in this form, okay, coming you in spirit. Okay. I keep seeing like a long dirt road, and I see but I see an older car. Even for that time, it would have been an older
car crash.
Yeah.
It was a car crash, is what it was.
Yes. It's like I say, I see an older car. Yeah. That's what I'm seeing. And I can see the glass breaking and the glass causing a lot of injury. And then
you're spot on. Yeah, you're spot on.
It feels like I'm trying to ascertain whether you and your sister, how either of you would have passed in that life.
Her sister died first, and she died, I think, 2 or 3 days later.
Yes. I can't, but it feels like it was more from, you have a lot of injuries, but I feel like there were foreign bodies inside of each person, as if there were parts of the car inside each person, that contributed to that death, to the mutual death. I got they were both young. It feels like they were both in their 20s.
Yeah, no, you're spot on.
The next one I got here, this is death, communication, regeneration. And I got it's like she's reestablishing first that sister relationship with you. I've got that this is like I feel that regeneration aspect of I was because I feels like it's like she's making a comforting connection with you. She's reestablishing that bond so you feel supported. And it feels like she's rebuilding the relationship that you had. Okay, that connection. So she's there to support you. She's there to help you. She's okay. So she's showing me some other things. She's showing me. It seems like you're out, and this happened in summer because I keep seeing trees, and it looks like it's summer. I see grass, and you're both wearing summer clothes. And there was a man that was in the other vehicle, and he was driving and while intoxicated. And caused this collision.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was quite terrible for your parents.
Now, I mean, when did you notice this girl? Because it seems like she's been around for a while. And who are you talking to, Natalie? I see you talking to somebody right now. Thank you, Jeff. Give her a second to type and we'll see who's next.
Okay, I also see this woman in the white dress, the sister. She's holding up a glass, like proposing a toast. It seemed like you okay. So there was some sort of recent celebration right before this crash happened.
I saw the blood pouring like from a crash. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'll say this, and I won't go into your personal life, Natalie. The reason why she has come to you recently is because the chain of events that's going on in your life is she's letting you know, and she's trying to comfort you. So we'll put it this way: poor decisions, bad judgments, is you probably need to rethink a few things and maybe change some things. And we'll leave it at that, if you know what I mean. So hopefully that gives you some peace and Godspeed. All right, next up, Lori. Lori, Angela. Let's go to my relatives. Or Amy, Barbara, or Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia's the.
When I said Georgia, isn't that a canine?
Yeah, little wiener dog that likes to get up in your face, and she's just so
Oh,
sweet.
that's right. That's right. Okay.
She's
Okay.
so sweet. She's like the primary community. She like rounds
That's
up all
right.
the other
That's right.
relatives.
Yeah. See, I have a rough time trying to keep up with things. So that's right.
Yeah, I also keep seeing a man as well with you. I keep seeing an older man. He has a big face, so his face is really wide. And he's just like he's a kind of he's a guy with a big square white head. And he has this little bit of hair on top. And he I see him wearing like a white shirt, and he's definitely around you. It feels like he's very protective. He's very loving. There's a very loving presence with him. And the first rune, I'm gonna see what the runes say about your relatives and your spirit family. And this man steps forward. He says he protects you as well, but he's known for a little bit for his sense of humor too. So whenever there was family gatherings around, he would say some things that would be very smart, like one-liners. It would make people crack up when they were all together. It seems like if when I feel him around. It seems like you were aware of him when you were a very small child, and he was an older man then. So this is a relative of yours that's coming through. Okay, so the first rune I got here is, this is Gabo again. So this is the rune of trust. This is gift. This is exchange. So this family, relatives, you have so many family around you. And I see like a lot of family members, both men and women around you. And they're letting you know that it's a gift. They keep emphasizing gift, that life is a gift and their connection with you is a gift. So they are with you, and they say that you feel them around you all the time. And I see a lot of people, and you've got a lot of relatives around you. And it was just the man for me that stood out to me the most, because the way that I see him when I was like very, very little. So this would have been somebody you may have heard of. You may have not known. He may have passed away when you were very little. But this man was, he was kind of known as somebody that was a very kind person and also very, very funny. And next rune I have, this is Kenya. So Kenya's is the rune of wisdom, guidance, light, intuition. And I see Georgia, she's going to each relative and asking each relative to come forward to you. Oh, okay. Just jumping Jack fast talk about his dad there. But what Georgia is doing, what I'm getting here, is that Georgia is actually going around to each of your family members and asking them to step forward and talk to you, and to kind of showcase their gifts to you, their unique gifts, their unique attributes of what they're known for. And that's what Georgia is doing. She's like, what she does, she runs circles around the relative that she wants to come forward next for you. And you can definitely feel that. And they come forward each to you. I'm asking how Georgia's getting them to talk. She's saying that you can feel them talking. It's like you can't hear them out loud, but you can actually feel what they're saying to you. It's almost if you know what they're saying, you feel their words, you feel the intention come across, and you just know what they're saying. So the next rune I got is, this is Feiyu. So this is the rune of money and prosperity. This is also what I get from this. It feels like this is like a lot of family support. It's like family supported each other, like even financially. It's like they bonded together and they would support each other. And they're still doing that. It's like they're still with you. It's like they're in the habit of doing that, and they're like not letting anything happen to you. You've got an amazing family that's very, very close knit. And then just one more rune. So the last rune I got is Ansu. So Ansu is wisdom. This is speaking. It's particularly speaking wisdom. So these relatives, I feel spirit relatives, they're talking all the time. And so this might be a case where an EVP recorder might come in handy, where you could leave a recorder out. And for me, what I do when I leave a recorder out, I only let it run for like 5 minutes at a time and make sure that, it's in a room that's the door shut. You're not having the TV on or anything like that, where they can pick up the sound, and then come back later and just listen. You might hear or pick up some of their voices on those recorders, but they do speak. And I also am being told that they kind of walk in and out of your dreams quite a bit. It's like they walk in and they walk out. They come in and they talk to you. They have a conversation and they'll walk out, and then the next relative comes in.
Jumping Jack Flash. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, be back. We'll answer your question and I'll elaborate. Angela, fantastic show. Wonderful. Great laughs. And I apologize once again. You said, oh, wow, and not, oh, no. So, ladies and gentlemen, from coast to coast, around the world, Godspeed. And we'll see you tomorrow night at 7. Good night, everybody.
Night.